simultaneously. But honestly, here in Duel B, it looks really, really good for Pac, as Luca so far is not interrupting him at all. And I think we are about to also be summoning out the Cyber Dragon Infinity. Wait, it's actually already on the field, being the first negate.
Yes, indeed it is, and it will soon be joined by the FA Dawn Dragster to shut down the spells and traps along with the monster effect. And suddenly, Luca, 4 cards in hand, and 3 of them, you have to imagine, at least, will be disrupted.
Waduh,
On the
ternyata
other
udah
side,
mulai duluan.
in Duel C,
Keren
we
jam
can see
setengah
that Enzo has baited out the
Ternyata jam 10
Ashbos with the
sudah mulai.
Infernal Flame. Banshee, fire to fire, but there's
Aku
more
tertipu
fire. Ryziel Duo
oleh
Dragster
jadwal.
going to be able to add 2 cards to the
Dari
hand.
dan gini kita saksikan orang-orangan tim samurai
Just to further extend
Pak
Enzo.
melawan
Now,
Nes.
the Banshee got interrupted, but still looks okay with
Ya
this
menang
duo
tetapi
drive
sih
that you did
bawa
mention. Again,
nama
Nesh
tim
use
samurai.
the Ash Blossom for the turn, has no further disruption to give unless...
We shall see, but honestly, Enzo, still so young, but with his 3rd World Championship appearance, he seems already so experienced. He baited that Ash Blossom so easily with the Banshee, tricking Nash into believing that there is no more Ryziel cards available, but then he showed that there was plenty more, and there we now have the Star Ryziel being summoned as well by detaching a material from the Banshee.
Jangan tuh combo.
Such a nice bait, letting your opponent maybe think, hey, there's not that much that they can do here. Oh,
that's a
goes.
lot of
Udah
damage
lewat
actually.
Yep, that should be a decent amount, I believe.
That might be game.
Waduh,
Duel
Nes.
the last one to
Tempe.
attack. Nash is falling already. The first game is won by Enzo. Takes the game here
Sekali.
in Duel C.
Yes, Chiba Corp are the ones moving up
Okay,
to
menang 1-1.
1-0 in this series so far. Salamangre Armorage for Joey as well. Salamangre Armorage for
Masih ada 2
Joey
lagi.
as well,
Bisa
holding the
menang
line
di
against
Ragnarok.
Miss. The Ryziel got a second turn here off of that Artifact Lancia.
The
Videonya
Royal Lancia turn skipping left and right at the 7th Tachyon is going to get us the X tier. Now, Mist
Ipak
has
enak.
play again.
Oh, main
Mist,
pistol
there's
dia.
another card from
Ipak.
Joey that can stop him, like the 2-card combination has in the first turn.
There is that Dawn Dragster we mentioned for the Crystron strategy. It's going to be the pass there. Again, 3 negations effectively on the table for Park
Wah, ini
here.
timis
Honestly, throughout the
basic combo
tournament, it
jalan.
really felt like
Kecuali Joey ada
the
di
show
biru ya.
was outperforming Ryziel,
Game
but we
changer.
really hear immediately in the first set of the final see Ryziel going strong. Ryziel already winning in Duel C and also looking really, really good here in Duel A
And
as well.
that is with a hard-drawn Artifact Lancia, despite the searches for it getting disrupted, despite that 7th Ascension, the 7th Tachyon running into interference there.
Sometimes it's good to have that one-off Artifact Lancia, and it makes so much sense to include that card into your Ryziel deck, as you can just access it with the 7th Tachyon. Here, we did not even need to search it, as we already opened it in the matchup. We wanted it so much.
But then we used the 7th cards to
Wah, ternyata
take up some of
ada
the
threat malis
disruption as
MTP.
well. Really well played by Mist to use that.
Mengambil Hare.
MTPO
Oh, dia ambil Betrayer.
searching for right rabbit, but does that really change anything? That's no interruption, but okay, March here.
Wah, jalan
be expected
tembok.
a little bit after we have seen that toggle in
Gila,
the end of main
ambil
phase
GW.
of Mist in the first turn. Marcher, it's not going to
Lumayan sih,
provide
2 body.
interruption, and also I wouldn't know how valuable one interruption could be at this point of the game. Ryziel Cross is of course threatening with an Exceed summon on the side of Mist. That's why we're doing this, building up our defenses like that. I just don't know how much time he can fight this.
And honestly, Leo, if he would have just activated that Malice March here on the first turn, it would have played around the Lancia so nicely. So I feel like Joey is regretting not using that on the first turn now, and it's bringing him into the situation that he's in now, right now.
Enzo with a single Infinite Impermanence to try and turn off some of these negations that he is facing down right now, but it doesn't look too promising. And now you have Puck considering whether or not to commit a Dawn Dragster disruption into this.
Yeah, that is Luca trying with the Infinite Impermanence. You're very right, but I mean, the Crystron deck being so flexible, it can chain the Tristaros here, for example, to just summon from the deck. It could just negate the Infinite Impermanence straight up, so it's still looking really, really, really good for Pack, who's currently getting advice from his teammates on what to do.
But don't forget that this is actually Luca on the Malice strategy. If Malice finds one way to play the game, it might as well be over immediately.
Masih bisa ya.
Also, there's still two more
Miss,
cards in the hand,
baik.
so maybe there
Dua
is
tembok
some more
dari
disruption targeting Malice.
Yep, there goes another disruption. Again,
Dua
that
samsak
Dawn Dragster
dari
that we mentioned,
dari
it
Joey.
runs interference on the Infinite Impermanence from Luca there, and it puts a swift end to that. Let's take a look at Duel B, because things seem to be heating up. The Allure of Darkness now.
Waduh, lukanya
Is this
nggak
a
ada apa-apa deh.
desperation play, or is it an attempt at stopping another negation from coming through?
And honestly, I
Ada
don't think
empat
I've
nih,
ever seen
4
Pack
disrupt ini.
so locked in. He's really staring onto the screen,
Satu tangan,
knowing that they have a real
dua,
chance to become the
tiga,
world
ini
champions,
bisa
and they're already up
sinkron
1
empat,
game, so
itu lagi
he may
lima.
as well try to make it a 2-0
Empat,
lead
dua,
here
selesai
with
sinkron
the
aman.
Crystron deck, and he chains
Dari Pak.
the effect of Crystron Chistaros here to the Allure of Darkness, making sure that we summon out another Crystron monster from the deck, and then go on with
Oh ya,
the
Synchro.
Synchro summon.
Might as
Synchro
well be
F5.
Axel Synchro, and then setting up a possible
Mana
Baron
kayak
de
gila.
Fleur later on with the FA Dawn Dragster. But we'll also have to mention that Mist
Tuh, kalau
is
saya
right
Synchro.
now close to
Biar
winning
bisa
the game.
Synchro
All
lagi
the
deh.
resources from Joey
Langsung
have been
ke Baron.
expended onto that field. There's just one unknown card in hand for him, so it's looking really good for Mist. Can Luca
langsung
play
ke-
through this? Again, this deck, yes, you can have
Langsung
multiple
ke Baron de Fleur.
disruptions against Malice, and you can stop it until the last card. But if that last card lets the deck play, you're gone.
I believe we still have the disruption live on the Cyber Dragon Infinity as well, so there is that in addition to the Baron de Fleur negation that will come through.
Indeed, there it is, and
Wah,
Luca
Lucas
will be
Petani kayaknya
bringing
menang.
back the White Rabbit, but I mean, there's also still 2 cards in hand for Pack. We know that this is his anti-Malice deck, so
Wah,
there
ini
could
dia
also
destroy.
just still be a Chaos Hunter waiting somewhere, but for the moment, we'll just
Aduh,
activate
betul.
Crystron Cluster here to immediately make sure, we're not using the effect.
Oh, tadi nggak ada activin dulu.
Playing around here a possible Lingo Rebo, which could negate the activation of a Crystron Cluster. So having it face up already, we can still use the effect later on in the turn, making sure though that the Lingo Rebo would never be a problem.
Smart, smart. Also, the normal summon hasn't been committed yet by Luca, so immediately throwing everything at this White Rabbit might not be the smartest choice. I'm very curious to see what Puck has to offer in his hand. Is there a Chaos Hunter?
Wah, Luca bisa ini
would
kali.
have been
Apakah Luca bisa
activated
membypass
immediately
ini
as long as you have
dari
one
Omni
Dragster
Negate,
finishes
dari
on
sifat.
the field. So I doubt it's going to be that.
And despite the sheer
Agak susah
amount
ini.
of disruption on the field for Park, still Luca in this game, 4 cards in hand, a solid field starting to establish
Oh, tapi
itself,
Lukanya
really testament
udah mau
to the
mendominasi.
power of the
Di
Malice
Mist-nya,
deck.
di Mist.
Let's quickly
Di bawah
go
di Duel
over
A,
to
mau
Duel A because I
mendominasi.
think Mist is about to close out that
dia
game.
tahu-tahu
It's
aja.
going to attack multiple times with the Shark combo.
Indeed, we see the Lancer being
Attacker.
summoned there, and that is a great way to close out games for the Ryziel strategy as you just get...
Gila ada satu
And
cuy.
there is the Ryziel detonator
Udah satu.
making sure
Di-
that this final is now even out 1-1, the new score, with 1 game here still remaining.
Another alert of darkness to come through. Luca trying to get a lead for Ragnarok, trying to pull
Nggak Luca
ahead
deh.
in this grand final and trying to find
Masih
a
dibiarin
way
saja
to
oleh
play
Pak.
Malice in this duel.
That is insane.
Dormos
Dormos
boleh.
is being activated now as well. Keep in mind, White Rabbit and Dormos now have been activated. There is
Oh, dibiarin. Berarti dia nungguin ini, nungguin Hari. Oh,
is going to be
aktifin.
activated here, and you're going to
Langsung
destroy the
destroy saja.
Dormos immediately. Still no normal summon committed, but it is going to be hard to extend from this point. The only special summon you still have from banishment is the Chassis Cat, and that
Tapi
is
Luka
so
masih
far
ada 5 kartu
nowhere
di
to be
tangan.
found. Still 2 negates remaining. If you do not have something like a Forbidden Droplet, which I assume would have been used by now possibly, it is still looking rather tough. But can you somehow go
Oh,
to
ada
the
kill
Red Reds?
ternyata.
First of all,
Penis Hare.
Malice in Underground.
As
Apakah
good a
dikit
start as
kali
any.
ini? Oh, nggak
Could
dibiarin
just
cuy.
be fooled into negating the
Ini
Malice
sabar banget ya.
Underground, possibly, but it's probably just better to let your opponent banish one of those Malice monsters, making sure that they have also used the effect of
Terus
Chassis
masih
Cat in the
nahan
banishment,
dua-
and then
dua
leave them
Omni
without
Negate.
any more effects that they can activate in the banishment. Ooh, we
Oh.
do go from Malice in the
dia
mirror here,
banish
though.
Malice in mirror.
Is that worth negating is the question here.
That is going to end up banishing your own Dormouse, adding a card from the deck to that. Is going to
Tapi kan Dormouse
search for
benar ini,
maybe
udah aktif.
a Malice P Marcher. This card can extend like crazy. You could maybe normal summon a Chassis Cat if you have
Oh,
one.
ngambil
That
Hari.
would be super strong, and then force a negate already.
Leo designated Malice
No
expert
way.
Oh, ada lagi.
again. Okay,
It does not
where,
stop.
Lawan Darkness nih.
where
Mau
would you
dibiarin
commit
lagi.
the negations here, given the fact
Hari
this
Benes.
deck has to have choke points
Nah, ini hari
somewhere?
ini hari harus
We have
diingkit
just
ini.
already activated
It's so
all
tough.
of
Kalau nggak
the
diingkit,
negates
wah
for
nggak
all
ngerti
of
gue
the
nih
banished
sifat.
monsters. So there's no real monsters coming from banishment anymore, but still no normal summon has been
Tuh,
used.
balikin
So
Dorm.
I think at this point you probably just wait.
Ya dia
for
belum,
the link
dia masih belum
release,
normal summon
but
si
sometimes
Luka.
those can be
Wah, dibiarin
cheated
aja.
when using their effect on the field.
Also, once they're on the field, they can
Gila,
just
Pak, sabar banget nih.
themselves back.
Puas aja, Thailand.
Talents is being used here is going to force out one
Negate lah,
more
masa enggak?
negate. Otherwise, taking a Baron de Fleur or Cyber Dragon Infinity would be absolutely crucial here. So you have to negate this card. This is one less negate already for Pak. I don't know what he has in his hand. I assume we are
Nah,
going
kan
to find
di-negate.
out at some
Udah
point.
kepancing deh.
But Luka is looking decent here. Only one Baron de Fleur versus 5
Dan harus
cards.
menang lawan
And
Malik.
Metatronus is being
Oh, dia ada Metatronus tuh.
That's crazy because that now
Iya, Bang Mia, soalnya ini
That
pakai
Pac
Kristen kan
also
susah
have to
apa?
negate this
Disupnya cuma sedikit ya tuh.
Despite
Nggak terlalu banyak. Wah,
everything
diingkit
set up
aja.
by the Crystron,
Udah habis ya tuh Omni.
Malice pulls ahead.
Paling di
All
tangan, paling kalau ada
cards
Nibiru.
and still for Luka, is there a follow-up to this forcing of the
Wah, pancing
negation?
cuy HT-nya.
Matcha added back the Dormouse. Dormouse
Main
can be
ini
noticeable
Malice,
and can
iya.
banish the Malice P chest
Udah
again
Dormouse,
from the deck
basic
that hasn't
combo udah.
been used yet. You can get your 2
Dormouse,
months. Splash Mage
banish
is an
cap.
option. We might as well just see an
Cap
ulti
balik
game
lagi,
here.
udah.
Triple Allure of Darkness is absolutely crazy.
Iya, aja dia mainin 3 Allure of Darkness.
And that is what we see here, drawing cards left and right.
Iya, Malice no
stopping
limit cutting
with
nggak ada
that,
tandingan.
and
Nah, emang
Luka
Bang soalnya masih
looking
di awal-awal ya.
locked in now.
Going to Link.
Tapi katanya nanti mau di
Continue
link
to
nggak sih?
apply the pressure
Katanya
here.
next ini.
This is insane.
Habis
Magnavolt
ini
in
mau di-
the
mau di
end
link.
phase is also going to give you some follow-up if we even get an end phase here, because I think Luka is just about to win this game. Magnavolt, of course, activating. Now going into a Link decoder. Hold up.
Ngeri cuy.
Are we going to see a Nibiru, the Primal, being on the side of Pak? Is
Kalau
that a
Pak
chance?
nggak ada ini dia,
Roll that
nggak bawa
out. We saw
lansnya,
Team Shaiba
nggak ada lansnya
card.
dia.
Having that card definitely
Malice kan
in
kalau
their
kena lansnya
lineup.
mati dia.
Enzo resulted multiple times in top 4. Joey, I think
Lansnya apa
also
tuh, Chaos
resulted
Hunter
with
tuh
one
dia
of his
kalau
decks
udah kena
being
itu,
the Malice deck most
Malice
of the time.
udah mati
So
dia.
maybe there also is a
Nggak bisa
singular
ngapa-ngapain.
Nibiru, the Primal being in the deck of Pac.
Tuh, langsung aja
But
basic
what
combo.
is that Link summon going to be?
White Binder.
I would assume that either White Binder or the Cryptor right away. It is the Hearts Cryptor.
Oh, langsung di
Yeah,
OTK dia.
Hearts Cryptor coming out here. The Malice deck is truly online here.
Yep, you can
Tuh,
now
akses
go
ke
into
poker.
the Splash Mage if you want. You can go into your White
Akses ke
Binder,
poker,
get this
dorong
Cryptor
Cryptor.
back if that is your plan. You can also go into
Nanti
Access Code
lihat
Joker, of
Cryptornya
course.
nih.
We're not trying to build a first
sekarang
turn
lagi,
field.
attack
We're trying to
5.000.
win here. Malice Hearts Cryptor is going to
gila.
be banished here. It's going to resummon itself. You have plenty of cards banished. You can't use the effect. That is so much damage.
Yes, it's 5,000 attack
Yang
for
nggak
the
berharap
Malice
Nibiru
Cryptor,
sih ini. Dari pagi ada nggak Nibiru?
5,300 for the access code Joker. It gets the destruction and it will attack shortly after.
If you were
Wah,
wondering
saya diserang.
why Luka and his
Besok
team is in the finals, you do get a display from it here. He
Banis
is in
aja.
the process of
Oh,
breaking
gila.
the entire
2-1
Christmas
cuy.
and the
Kok bisa kan
crowd is going
kalau kita
wild
baru
and
ini bisa masuk
loving it.
WCS.
Luka Boyan is
Kalau-
carrying
kalau
his
Malice,
team. Ragnarok here
udah
into
2
a
bulan nggak sih? 2 minggu nggak sih?
two-way
Nggak tahu dah. Aduh, buffering cuy. Nah, kebiasaan nih lagi nge-lag aja. Koneksi. Nanti Bang apa pas di itu apa?
It's set number
Habis ini habis WCS
Three
di link itu.
of
biasanya.
darkness and 2 points on the board for
2-1.
Ragnarok.
Paris, are you entertained by our greatest duelist in the world?
3 lagi cuy, 3 lagi bentang udah.
And the crowd is equally so. Gotta love to see them
Ragnarok.
respecting the work that these players have put out throughout the entire year and now showcasing it here in style in the finals.
Kan habis WCS biasanya langsung di ban tuh
Really
ada
well
channel masuk
played,
ke
but still
daftar
not
ban
a
list.
clean sweep. This is
Biasanya ya.
highly
Aduh.
competitive
Keempat
and
lagi.
could be anyone's for the taking.
Calm down, Ibris. Still not a clean sweep after this incredible full combo from Crystron. Going into Allure. The
Jual
craziest
WCS keren
thing
mah,
about
bisa
Allure of
belum
Darkness is
tentu Bang, itu
sometimes
kalau
you negate that card
kalau
and your
selesaikan
opponent's
bisa
like,
tuh
thanks
Bang,
for giving
lawan
me the
Rizal.
free negate. That would have done nothing. But this time around, maybe if you negate the
Lawan
first
Rizal
Allure of
full combo
Darkness,
lagi,
there's
Bang.
nothing to play
Bisa
with. You
kalah
are
sama Rizal.
going to find your breaking cards. You're going to find the
Yeah.
talents. You're going to find Metatronus. Allure of Darkness is a card that can go incredibly crazy.
Yes, indeed, and I think that decision to let it go through will haunt Park for a while now, unless Chiba Corp are able to pull this comeback off.
Let's
bisa.
hope it
Apakah
doesn't
Chiba
alter
Corp
for
bisa
too
comeback
long,
ya?
because there is still of course set 2 and 3
Ayo bang, diisi
As
dulu
you
bang
said,
itu
they're
apa?
absolutely
Polling
not out of
tapi
this
menang.
just yet. They have only a 2-1
Bang Meo
deficit to overcome.
dukung
Something
Yatarou atau
they
Chiba
could
Corp?
immediately make up for by just making a 2-1 now in set 2, and then we could hopefully, because that is what is the most fun, head
Kalau
into
gue
another
Yatarou
third set.
ada potensi.
Listen, they have had the
Potensi
advantage here. They won
menang.
2 coin tosses already as opposed to 1, then immediately stopping Mist. But Mist had the Lancea. I think, is that
Nah ya kan tuh katanya kalau ada Lancea kalah
yeah, the 7th
si
Tachyon
si Luka
technology that requires only 1 Lancea.
antara Lancea atau
If you're playing
Hunter gitu.
7th Tachyon, and you know
Mending
you're
bisa
playing
gini.
versus Malice, which is
Malice tuh kalau udah nggak bisa Benis udah bener-bener mansi gitu.
So totally, it's gonna be your first opponent most of the time, so you can basically be blinded.
Intinya siapa yang dapat Malice first pun ternyata menang. Belum tentu bang, dia siapa tahu musuhnya ada Lancea gitu. Lancea atau Cash Hunter.
The 7th Tachyon was assumed to be searching for that eventual
Tergantung
Lancea,
musuhnya
but
juga
as
pada
you
dapat.
mentioned,
Karena
not
nariknya bagus ya.
necessary. It was there from the
Atau
beginning.
nih biru
An
gitu.
interesting sequencing though, right? Because he started with the 7th Tachyon while also having the 7th Ascension. So if he would have started with the 7th Ascension, maybe there's a chance they ash that and then he can just resolve the
Rizal kan dia kalau-
7th Tachyon. You never know.
Kalau kan masih bisa
this
ini, masih bisa
level. I can
nangin combo gitu.
199.9% guarantee you
Karena
that
banyak ya.
this 7th Ascension would not be Ash Blossom. Just open yourself
Ya,
up
bisa
to
ngalahin Malice,
potential Troll and
menurut
Lockbird
lu,
could
Terlaman.
be a problem that would
Ya, tergantung
haunt
juga
you to
sih
the
itu ya.
end
Kalau
of
Terlaman
days.
yang first,
But now we're going into
bisa.
set 2 of the finals at the WCS in Paris.
Wah ini dia nih
Will
set
it
2
be a
langsung bisa jadi
European
mulai.
team with Team Ragnarok, or is it Team Chiba Corp from
Ini
North
pemain-pemainnya cepet ya.
America becoming the world champions?
Ada-
We do
tadi aja
have a
di jadwalnya
Molcharmi
jam setengah
Purulia
11,
in the
tiba-tiba jam
troll
10
phase
semua
from
lagi.
Mist.
Actually,
Gue aja kaget
Molcharmi is
tadi pas
everywhere
ngecek.
here so
Wah,
far, and
semoga
they
nanti.
seem to be resolving. If
Buru-buru
Beckville
gue.
are also going to come
Buka
through,
lagi.
let's take a look at Duel C because there's a lot of interaction
Boleh
happening
kita lihat nih
there.
Luka
There's a lot
masih
of
main
stuff happening
Alisnya di
everywhere. I think
mid-gate.
Joey is just really deep into his combo
Wah, basic
already.
combo.
Started off with the gold sarcophagus, now with the Dormouse banishing the Chesiket.
Wah,
But
ada-
there's also
ada
Chesiket
Hari
summon.
ternyata.
There is
Dorong
the
saja.
Chaos
Oh.
Hunter.
Dormouse.
It's a little late
Wah tapi
there.
under Purulia.
Is Nash on his anti-Malice deck. We've seen Crystron from Pack, but Nash's way of handling things is playing Snake Eye with dedicated anti-Malice cards. For example, that Chaos.
Wah Nesnya pakai ini
Yes,
ya bro.
indeed, and Chaos
Main
Hunter,
Snake
let's
Eyes.
take a look at it in
Team
Duel
Snake.
A as it turns the tide against the Malice deck here
Itu
for
Nesnya
Joey.
pakai Snake Ice
Is
Spin
it really though? Because there is a couple of tools that the
Wah,
Malice
nggak
deck
bisa banis
has
dia.
to just
Si
deal
Joey.
with the Chaos Hunter. Sometimes people arguing Chaos Hunter is not as strong as the Artifact Lancea
Terus
is. So
aja
I
dia
could
Destar
see Joey
nyala.
having an answer to this here.
Gua ngebuang
Funnily
OSS.
enough though, we discarded
Berani banget ya dia
the
buang
Diabellstar
OSS.
to now bring it back through its own effect.
I very rarely see that effect of it used, to be honest, but even so, happy to see that Nesh is able to build some kind of a defense here.
Ini
Let's
paling
take a look at
mau nggak mau
Duel B,
kayak
that
ini
we've
ke
looked
Cisco Talk
across a few of them, but this
destroy
is
Chaos Hunter.
exciting.
There is a call by the Grave from
Wah,
Pack,
by the
so
Grave.
Pack did not care about Molcharmi Purulia in the draw phase, held his call by the Grave, was like, I can live with that, I will maximum summon once from the hand anyways,
pakai main
but
ini
now,
main
the
terus.
next thing that we had to stop was
Ini
wisely
kandaran dia nih.
negated with that call by the Grave.
Yep, that Creation King now coming through for the Memento.
Wah, ada failure.
Failed!
Apakah mati kombonya?
The deck has plenty of
Tinggal dua sih kartu
options.
tangan Pak.
That resolves that is so
Ini kalau nggak ada
already.
kalau nggak ada
Chilling
extender langsung
Pack
kalah.
here because this is already an interruption on the opposing turn. Missed only at 3 cards,
Oh,
but
iya,
when
masih ada
having
ini,
3 cards
question.
stopped it. Memento Total Infusion, of
Benis
course,
aja.
in the graveyard can extend you, but no access.
Ngambil
Additionally, Puck with the Memento
Oh,
deck
this
has
guy.
a good graveyard set up now and a lot of effects waiting to be activated. And that means that Mist has been forced to use 3 cards, sorry,
Ini
2
gua masih
cards
jalan,
already left
combo.
with 3. And now Puck can extend under the assumption that there's no more disruption
Hurricane dua.
coming his way.
Oh, Memento Lembone Party will now be activated. And Leo, I liked how you said he does not have access to the
Yeah,
field
that
but
was
the Memento
completely
linked in, because he just destroyed that card to
Yeah.
actually immediately banish it and get it. So we are still in the motion. Pack has switched decks, but to those players, to these caliber of players here in the finals of a World Championship, it seemingly doesn't matter what deck they play. They can switch left and
Oh, dia
right
mau
between
ambil
deck
apa?
and one, and they can perform perfect with each and one of them.
It's looking good in
Ada
most
Goblin dia.
duels again for Team Chiba Corp. Here, Pack is going off with a big combo right here, Bone Party, but has to consider multiple things because 3 cents from the deck or the extra deck of the Creation King are already negated in Duel A. It's looking
udah
like a
mantas
rather
kuno.
full Malice combo here. Also, even
Bisa
though
cuman
you
kuda
have to
lumping
pivot
deh.
a little bit away from your standard
aktif
combo,
aja
if the
efeknya.
Chaos Hunter was summoned. But in Duel C, Luca is just going at it with the Malice cards.
Yeah, Luca may be the one carrying his team here this time around. He won that crazy third game in the first set and looks like he will continue to do so.
I see
Wah,
two
selesai nih.
Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddesses on the duels, and it
kayaknya
is
3-0
ensuring
nih kayaknya.
that these players that are ahead
3-0.
will remain ahead for at least one more turn.
There is going to be another send-off, 2 cards. Memento Mid-Clan is targeting the Tatsuno Toshigo, and Gatic is, of course, Chain Link 2. So Pack is in a rather difficult spot, but if one player in this field can pull off a big field after being
Wah,
disrupted
timnya ini-
multiple times, I think it's Pack.
Tim yang cari bakor
Definitely, he
pas
has
semua ya.
played this Memento deck for so long. He played in the TCG. He actually played it in the North American qualifiers, where it also was about the World Championship, but now playing it at the World Championship in the Master Duel category instead. Adding back the Anguish through the effect of the Gatic, and Sleepy will still resolve. We get another fusion summon as we
masih
already
jalan sih
went
komboy.
through the Dekutlika. This will now, of course, be about the Thunder Dragon. Oh no,
Yes,
the
indeed,
Twin
the
Dragon,
Dragon.
of
Twin
course.
Dragon now coming through, the other Memento fusion, as we look towards that eventual combined creation. The King banished itself to extend further. Now you have the Dragon destroying itself to allow for even more Memento extension. And again, Mist already committed so much
Gila sih, Pak, masih
disruption
jalan
here.
kombonya
Does
tuh.
he have anything else? If he's on the Ryziel, probably not. If
Ini bisa
he's
ke
on
King
the
lagi,
Ritual
bisa ke
Beast,
Creation King lagi.
probably not again.
But
Ambil
he
bos
has
monster yang
Brolia
gue
active, so maybe if Pac
ambil
wants
naga.
to
Bukan
summon
naga
out
sih dia,
something else from the hand, there could be another draw.
Waduh, apel
for
saya
this, but I
dihancurin
don't
tuh.
know what that could be. Mace is of course a nice setup later on.
Iya,
Does he
selesai apel
already
saya.
normal
Wah.
summon? Does he have to normal summon a Mace at this point? That would be crazy.
I'm pretty sure he normal summoned
Dibalikin
the
saja
start of his
oleh
turn, so
Firewall
that is
Dragon.
already out, but still there could be plenty of ways to continue playing here. Actually, let's go over to Duel C, because we had just had a really interesting chain resolving at table C. So let's see it.
Oh, masih
goes
jalan ya?
over,
Nggak kena
and
higit.
Snow Rabbit took care of an
Waduh,
Appaloosa. So this
salah
is
dong nih.
maybe how Enzo is getting
Nggak
himself
kena higit
into
anjir.
this game there.
This
Yeah.
is crazy because the Firewall Dragon is now going to be negated by the aggregator, or I think it was probably targeting the Appaloosa, but now
Itu apa harus di fit berarti ya,
able to
apel saya.
resolve our effects of the Firewall Dragon. Look how lonely it is. It needs monsters that point to it, and then it points to itself to work
Kita
really
mencari
good
Appaloosa.
as a card. And right now, there is nothing, even though I'm pretty sure that Luca has GWC set up to banish this Whitebinder, or a Marcher to banish the Whitebinder, summon it back, get all of those cards back, and get multiple bounces.
And even if Duel C is not going by way of the Malice player right now, Duel A certainly is.
Nggak kena higit.
And we have the normal summon of Ice Ryziel, and
Waduh,
so
lukanya
is the
aman.
Ryziel player of Team Cyber Corp. You saw him win already in the first set, and he will try to keep it going here for his team and his teammates.
Enzo is just going for Access Code Talker on his first turn, I assume, to get rid of all of the follow-up that Nesh set up. So eventually,
Kita record bisa menang ini.
Malice can also
Yang
hand
dua.
loop now.
Bisa menang
Let's take a look
flawless.
at Duel A
Tapi
because
nggak
it
tahu
looks
dah.
to be
Oh.
heating up in favor of Joey
Kita
here
sama
as
si
well.
Debitor.
This is actually the end of the turn on turn
first
one, as you
turn.
said, yeah.
Wah, Joey gitu doang.
Nesh now is facing with 2 cards in hand versus an Appaloosa, 2 set cards, and probably a handful of interruptions waiting, lingering in
Tapi Nesh
the
cuma
graveyard.
dua
There could be
tangannya.
Malice Q
Aduh,
Hard Scripter. There
susah.
could be a White Rabbit. When those cards
Ya.
are banished, you will
Apakah ada
get
negate?
banish for your opponents. So
dibiarin
this
saja.
is incredibly strong of a setup, even though it just looks like an Appaloosa right now. But Raidsot is a good
Nah,
start.
Ash
Ash Blossom is a perfect answer.
Yeah, really well played and patiently awaited by Joey there as he
No.
did not.
Kali ini sampai
Marcher
aduh,
was
Nes
just
nggak ada
negated
call
by
kayak
Ghost
grave.
Spell and Hot Imagine in Duel C. Let's
And
look
take
at
control.
that right now, because I
Ines.
think this is maybe the first time we can see a full combo of Malice being interrupted by
Yeah,
Ryziel.
So
Enzo's
much
doing it.
action across the board here. And again, as you said, we don't often see the Malice deck pull out ahead. Rather, we don't often see the Ryziel deck pull out ahead against Malice, but it seems to be doing it here. Despite the setup from Luca, it is Enzo who is making a statement.
Indeed, Enzo just made smart decisions in deck building. He is playing those hand directions that do not only stop the
Yeah.
opponent from building their field on the first turn, but also
Oh,
work
kayaknya-
somewhat with
ini gua tahu
creeping
deh, kayaknya
potential
apa?
on your own turn. We saw
Kayaknya
the Ghost
polanya
Ogre
nggak jadi
just
nigit kayaknya.
basically
Itu apa?
taking care of the Appaloosa, and now the
Karena
Ghost
apa,
Spell
attack-nya udah
Hot
nol deh,
Dimension
jadi
dealing with the
Karena mikir,
returning Malice Monster by
dari
negating
Bang
the
Orter.
GWC.
Istrinya ganteng itu kan enggak dia pakai koin.
Monster. Well, I just watched one return in Duel A.
Main koin
Let's
dia
take a look
di
at Duel
itunya.
A because it does seem
Nggak
like this
gantian.
is the end phase and this will be the end of the game in favor of Chibercorp if Joey can pull this off.
See, can I mention that we have seen Ghost, Bell, and Haunted Mansion on multiple decks? Puck has used one to win the semi-finals against G-Nets. It was absolutely crazy. G-Nets playing
Kalau
it out
gantian,
perfectly and then
itu
getting
apa?
this
Tadi
momentum
si
confusion. Ghost,
Terima
Bell,
kon duluan.
and now again
Tapi ini kan
on
apa?
the side of Enzo, it is
Ini yang set 2 nih malah ini apa? Ragnarok yang duluan.
Yeah, I think they just mixed
Berarti
it
dia
up.
main pakai koin.
That's a cool approach to the whole situation. When you just have one hand direction each, it's very hard for your opponents to predict
Waduh,
what you
Nes,
have.
enteng,
When there
Nes.
only is one Nibiru in your deck, and then one
Tinggal-
Ghost
tinggal
Bell,
tabrak
what are
aja
you
udah.
playing around if it could basically be
Aspray,
anything in
Nes.
any deck?
We
Waduh,
just going
sama
to
ini.
see a battle phase here. Dormos is going to banish a March Hare from the deck just to gain some extra. Oh, White Rabbit actually just to gain some extra attack points here.
Dia mau nambah attack
Going
dong.
to attack
Tinggal serangan.
Jessica.
And this
Wah,
will
di bawah ada
be
Nibiru,
Joey
anjir.
evening up the series against Ragnarok for Chibercorp.
2 and 2, the crowd loves it. We have some fans here of Team Chibercorp, and we go back here into Duel B, where Pack is summoning, and this time
Waduh,
also
miss.
resolving the summoning effect of his Tekudlika.
We are now guaranteed a third set of duels between
ada
these
Apollo ya?
teams.
Miz
Masih
could
bisa nggak
not really do anything about the
Bisa nih,
field that
tinggal di
Pack
destroy.
presented him with, and therefore it is back to him here, and we will be able to just try to play through all of this. And as we are in turn 2, clearly we already had the battle phase,
Yeah.
but we still can set up a huge field.
Aduh,
Yep,
Mias,
the
apakah Mias
Anguish
juga
in the
enteng?
hand now, the single
Kalah
card
lawan
for Puck.
lawan
Is there any kind
Memento
of
full combo.
disruption that will come his way, or does he clear this one out?
It's still Mist's turn.
That's what I thought, yeah. Just there I was realizing this gotta be Miz's turn, as obviously Pac was the one comboing on the first turn. That is a
tipon,
clear
tipon
sign when
deh.
you always only
Yeah.
see one monster to be used for an XC.
Udah gitu ada tipon
It
tuh.
usually is, and it also here in that case is
Udah nggak
the
ada apa-apa lagi.
Superstar Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis.
Oh, dia
That
kena
feels
Maxi
like
ya?
Miz still is in a little bit of a crisis here as well.
Yes,
kenapa-
indeed.
kenapa
Kind
nggak
of
disang
a
dulu?
desperation play, but
Serang
we've
dulu
seen it
Apollo
get
saya,
a
udah.
reputation because it's so good
Yeah,
at
misplay
bringing
kah?
games back from the
Kalau
brink.
miss-
Superstar
misplay.
Slayer, Typhon, Sky Crisis will keep Mist and Ragnarok in this duel.
But everyone, Duel C is also having some interesting news as we see a Nibiru the
Wih, ini
Primal
darknya.
being there
Yang
from
dibikin apa
Luka's
Osai?
side. And we saw Enzo pushing and pushing, trying to get back into the game with his Ryziel deck. But now everything gone, only a big token left, and Luka again looking on
Wah,
top.
It
Enzo,
was looking hopeless
Enzo-
for Ragnarok
Enzo yang
in
tag ya.
this set too, but now after full combo, Luka of course drew
Dia ini lukanya
cards
full
with
combo
Jessica
anjir.
as well.
Malis.
Must have found a Nibiru the Primal being at some point, and now is going to combo through here, is going to make sure that this time he can't be stopped after this turn, and this might be game for Luka here versus Enzo. Tried his best, looked like he was going
tinggal
to
fun ya.
steal it away from Luka, but he says,
Tinggal summon
nah, I have
Tesco
my
atau enggak
Malice
ke
deck.
Tesco.
This is the best deck in the room. I will show
iya.
you why.
And Luka will, if he does take
Tiga
this,
sama kan
take
ini?
back the lead for Ragnarok here. Can
Wah, tiga
he
sama terus
end
ini.
this duel right now? Still a
Itu si Bak udah mendominasi.
defense token to deal with.
Tinggal
I'm
restore
sure we
aja.
can deal with that, and maybe in the end, what Luka has been preaching all weekend
Nah,
long
itu
is
Talker.
still holding true. He told
Nah, destroy,
everyone, if you go first with Malice, whatever your opponent plays, whatever they activate, usually I will still come out on top.
And that finisher rank of
Oh, iya.
number
Ya, selama
three
Malis
with
nggak
access
di-
to
nggak kena lansia
really
tuh,
goes to show
Malis
once
iya, masih bisa
the
menang.
combo gets to the
Kata-
point
kata
where you
moderator,
climb
kata
into
MC.
this, it is pretty much game over, and it will be game over
Wah,
for
Roy
Enzo
terang.
here as
Udah
Luka
nggak ada Nibiru.
takes this
Wow,
duel.
3-2.
Final blow with Malice White Binder here, while
GG
Puck is
buat
still
Luka.
setting up to win the game on his own there. There's still
Tinggal
a
miss nih, miss.
Superstar
Waduh,
Slayer,
susah
Sky
nih kayaknya
Crisis,
miss.
Typhon that is sitting there.
Tinggal dari
waiting
ketek
to
aja
not
udah,
be
8.000.
destroyed by those two Tekudlikas, but Puck is just only playing versus two
Nah, ini dia Akihiro.
Indeed, and 8,000 points of damage already on the table for Puck. If
Wah, nggak ada
these
call bagi di
attacks
grave.
can connect, is there a way to get Akihiron in the game now?
Yeah,
So
ente.
Yakihiron already just
Miss ente.
used his graveyard effect to grab back a memento card from the graveyard to the hand, and it was memento confusion. Either Yakihiron, as we just get back into this game, was on the field and already used its effect to make
Sesama
direct
anggota
attacks
tim Samurai
happening
X.
for our Tekutlika monsters, or it was destroyed
Merebutkan
with
Duel
hand.
juara.
So we'll have to find out
WCS
whether that is
2025.
the case or not. Is there an Yakihiron activation in the graveyard here? Maybe. Chainlink one cross sheep, Chainlink to Gaddick. Clearly Pac's most favorite memento monster, as it's also his icon.
Oh, did Gaddick just target the Yakihiron to add it back to the hand? I think that's a good home party target. So you can destroy it then, but then you would have to summon it back later. But I think at this point it's not even necessary. But of course, you can just go for Darkblade. I thought we were going to discard the Yakihiron, but we're clearly not just discarding Tatsuno or Toshigo to play around a Called by the Grave. Plasma Hole is not doing
for your information itu si Pak itu pernah menang lokal ini pakai memento deh. Juara lokal pakai memento. Musuhnya pakai Duel apa ya? Pokoknya musuhnya pakai memento. Wah, access code talker. Metatronus. Plugin, sorry.
First of all, Ryziel plug-in. More of a desperation play once again though from his side. Yes, we can surge with Ryziel's sword here, but that Ryziel, that X-Ryziel in the hand will not do anything anymore this turn. Hold on though, we could not really use the effect of X-Code Talker to gain attack, as of course that would have made it too big to activate the destroy due to that type of field.
But if we're taking a little closer look to the field, and if we are doing some math, this looks like 10,300 damage to me. We're going into the battle phase, attacking with 3k, and then Tekutlika with 5k, and we have a game, everyone. It's 3-3 between Chimakov and Ragnarok.
Biar sengit ke juga tidak gak sama itu.
And this is how I like it the most. We will be going into set 3 where the score is even and where we cannot tell just yet who's going to make it. Of course now it's going to come down to who plays who, what are the matchups, what are the
dua lagi nih, tinggal butuh 2 poin lagi buat menang.
On the line.
Will we finally see Joey's second deck, or is it Malice all the way through? These are your best duelists in the world, and they are showing you exactly why they got that reputation and exactly why Group A was so competitive with both of these teams in it.
Alright everyone, we are here in Paris live for the Yu-Gi-Oh! WCS Master Duel Finals 2025. Paris, cheer for your finalists, Tusifa Chimacorp!
Going live, but of course, do we also have some fans for Team Ragnarok in the booth?
Actually, that sounds like Chimacorp might be the favorite.
Tapi feeling gue Chimacorp menang
having the home field advantage here in Europe.
I think they were just cheering so much they didn't hear you there. Can we get it one more time for Ragnarok?
There it is. Okay. Crowd is going wild. You see the shot here of our venue. We have a
tapi si 4 ini ya decknya bukan meta, jadi dia main memento sama Crystron.
They are sitting there
teman-temannya yang pakai deck meta.
Play 3 more games of Master Duel today.
Masih bisa menang
games will be the most important ones of the entire weekend, maybe of their entire life, as they are games for the World Championship title.
And we've seen these players perform so well across the course of the weekend so far. We've seen them perform so well today. Throughout the past year, we're looking back as well. Just these are legends of their respective scenes. TCG, Master Duel, Europe, North America, they've been all around the world, even to Japan in the case of Mist, Herman Hansen, and I believe also Enzo Vialos as well.
Absolutely. And they realize that title is up for grabs. It's so close for both of them, and both teams have the absolute chance and right to grab the title now, maybe. And we want to see who is going to become the world champion, the team that is going to be the new rulers of the world, essentially. Who is going to make it? Set number 3 starts here.
Ragnarok versus Chimacorp. 3 and 3. The first team to win 2 duels will win the title, will win the championship, and win this
combo memento-nya.
In the World World Championships Finals, we have Puck versus Nash in the deciding game of the day. Meanwhile, Luca is also selected going for Maxine.
Oh, ada
Oh,
Maxi.
we have no direct answer to it. Bemen told
Nggak.
them both.
Oh. Gila, Puck lawan Nash, gila.
Nash really is resolving Maxi in the deciding game here.
Nash
Ini Memento kena Maxi turun.
answer to the malice, but it is
Oh, nggak ada Blossom si Puck.
that is currently
Gila.
suffering at
GG,
the
GG.
hands of it.
You don't even know which deck it is right now. Well,
Dan Memento kena Maxi turun.
there is no sign that this might not be
Tapi
a
tadi gua nggak tahu Nash main apa nih.
match. On the other side, we have a almost full Ryziel combo here.
Gua masih mau ditabrak kan.
So indeed,
Tipak.
Enzo has been showing some great spirit here in the finals, winning in the first set, in the second set, almost doing it against Luca, and now winning the coin toss here in this Duel C against Mist as well.
Yep,
Wah, Enzo-nya full combo, full combo Ryziel.
extension with no punish thus
Wah, Enzo ini kayak bagus menang koin,
Also
anjir.
have a malice in the mirror match taking place in
Aduh,
your
drift.
other
Itu
duel
pihaknya udah kepasang lagi ya?
Yep. Duel A
Udah
is
anti
looking
biru nih.
incredible for Luca right now, if I
Anti
might
hard
say. There was an
and
Ash
monster.
Blossom and Joy Spring used on the Malice Peak chassis cat, which is something that you definitely have to do. Ash Blossom doesn't stop the combo by itself, and of course, if your Malice player gets to full combo and just draw 2 more cards and gets to extend even further, this might as well be game over for you. But it also never really feels great because it doesn't stop the combo.
Is
Detonator.
one disruption enough to stop Enzo here,
Oh,
or has he done it against Mist?
Mistnya nggak ada yang Maxi ya?
Is even Ryziel in the mirror match, or is it the ritual beast that has been there for him time and time again?
Is he bringing Lara to the finals of the World Championships? We're seeing a plasma hole being added here.
Full
for
combo
a
kayaknya.
even bigger field node is going to be added as
Iya,
well.
full combo
Are we
anjir.
discarding something? I would
Enzo.
assume so.
Oh yes, of course, and we are once more going for that setup that we have seen plenty of times throughout the entire tournament. Sometimes, or most of the
Puck
times,
gitu
I
ya,
won't
Pak.
even say,
Puck main
those
hajar
Ryziel
terus.
players do not even go for Ryziel
Puck
detonator,
tidak takut
but
Maxi
they
dia.
rather go for
Langsung tabrak saja.
Baguska. Is it going to be the terribly tired tap here? It is
Nah, dia
once
takdir.
again number 41, turning so far only our own field into
Dan
defense
recover saja.
position.
Yes, indeed, this match between
Tinggal
Enzo
satu.
and Mist is heating up, but look how many cards in Duel B Nesh is getting in terms of value from this
Wah,
Maxi.
Pucknya main tabrak cuy.
Oh yeah. Park
Ash
has
was-
made the decision
Tidak
to
takut
just commit
Maxi.
into the Maxi. Let's see how that works out.
Langsung
One thing
saja
I
full
found
combo.
really interesting is the Ash Blossom on the Bone Party, because that could mean a multiple amount of things. So if you Ash Blossom the Bone Party, you want to guarantee that you get some draws from the Tatsuno Toshigo because you don't want it to be destroyed. Meaning you might not have any starters. You want to get those draws in, but it also means that if your opponent has his own Maxine, then you might not have Ash as an answer.
Another draw going through, and another one off of this 1-4-1, but that just goes to show how much priority Park is putting on setting up a field here, and how much potentially he acknowledges that Nesh is not piloting something that can break open a field that easily.
Oh, look at Duel C. There's Harpy's Feather Duster activated by Mist right here. Is
Oh,
it
ada-
a good way to
baru kali ini
break
gua
this
lihat
field?
ada
But wait a second,
Feather
Cross-Out designated in
Duster.
the mirror match. Such a dangerous card.
dimainkan.
What are we choosing here?
Baru kelihatan tuh.
So basically can choose between all of the Ryziel cards, and if Mist has that Ryziel monster in his hand, he will not be able to use that for the rest of the turn. Triple tactic
Enzo nggak bawa Feather.
also really good card to call there.
Yep, means that the Baguska will not change sides, means that none
bawa
of the
TTT deh.
monsters will change sides.
But how is he going to activate Triple Tactic Talents? I did not see a card being activated so far. Maybe there was another hand trap being used by Enzo.
There is a material detached there, but
Yeah, that
I'm
was in the
not
first
too
turn
sure.
from the Ryziel Duo Drive that detaches from the Starlight.
Ini tinggalin aja nih, Miss, ke SP atau nggak ada yang gitu,
More attack
dikit
on the
tapir.
Photon Dragon, so nothing can be targeted in
Buat bersibur.
But also in Duel A, Luca is still in the combo. But after seeing the semifinals, I'm
Oh,
getting
gimana
a
caranya
little
ya?
worried
Ini kalau
when I see
mirror match
slow Malice
susah.
combos.
Yep,
Tim Mist.
absolutely agree. Mist also, it looks like he is thinking about his own plays here, but you could see him going left and right. I think it was more so about him giving advice to both of his teammates, because his next move is clear, and that is 7th Ascension,
Ascension,
which
ambil
kind of helped him
Ascension.
to win in the first set.
Ascension.
Yep,
ambil
and that
Sword.
does confirm that
Biasanya.
this is indeed Ryziel in the mirror match in the final. final here.
Ini mirror match
Versus
sama
Enzo. Enzo went first. Enzo set up, missed. The pressure is on. Speaking of pressure, though, this Maxi continuing.
Mau buang ini, buang mirror logic.
In Duel B, Nesh is in full
Buat
control
ini
hand-wise,
bagus
but
kan.
has nothing on the field because he hasn't had a turn yet.
Absolutely, and you may expect this X-Ryzeal to sort of challenge the Baguska, but the aggregator cannot be used as the Baguska cannot be targeted due to the Star Leech Dragon.
Are we just Baguskaing back on the side of Mist?
Maybe, or we just summon out possibly also a Ryzeal Detonator when the Baguska goes into attack position. It is a Ryzeal Detonator. That does make sense because eventually we will have to turn the Baguska into that attack position.
Let's take a look at Duel B though, because it looks like Puck is still continuing with the combo, still continuing to give over cards here. He's holding so many. Can he close the game in a single turn with all of that?
The question is, we have seen so many interactions in the deck of Miss and Luca. Does Nash have anything besides the Ash Blossom and the Maxi? Because both of those have been used already.
I realize we may very well experience 3 mirror matches, 3 pure skill matchups across the board here with Ryzeal and Memento all facing off depending on what Nesh is playing here.
That's really the question. What's left in Nash's deck? Because Nash was very open about sharing the deck building experience with his teammates, and he said, both of my teammates, they kept on taking cards away from me. So what is left here for Nash? It's certainly a big amount of cards in hand.
Indeed, what is left here for Nash? Apparently 28 or so cards.
Okay, that's a start.
It's a good start, but it is not the best start. There's SP Light and there's Appaloosa above the Goddess. I think that Puck has found the solution for the best field versus Book of Eclipse, even though it's still kind of hurting. But what are you going to do here now? If you activate Bone Party, you can just add something to hand. If you summon something, it's gonna get booked in the process. Just lets it resolve.
Book of Eclipse. Those book cards in general have been very impactful here throughout the entire tournament, and here we have booked 2 monsters on Pack's side.
Considering that he did encounter 2 disruptions, this is a phenomenal field for
him.
It is, but also, I mean, yes, the book of Eclipse is not super impactful, but still, Nash can't afford to have such low value trades when you have like 1,000,000 cards in hand.
Yeah. The next thing I'm wondering about,
Book of Eclipse ini sih atau ngaruh buat Memento.
You could have easily added a Sleepy and then used that one to
version 2 bantik ke ini Twin Dragon.
Destroy that one, get some more resources, add more resources to the hand, and then you would have had the chance to use your fusion that is set to go into the Combined Creation King.
And this game in particular seems to be all about the resources, especially those in the hand of Nesh right now.
Ini dia pakai Finley.
Battle phase could mean one thing. It could mean that not only the score right now would be matched, is there really an evenly matched in Nash's hand? He has so many cards, and I think he has evenly matched to banish everyone on Pack's field.
And can that one card stay against 12 or so in the hand of Nesh? I guess we will find out as the evenly matched looks to resolve here.
Puck resolving, or reacting rather quickly, swiftly here. It's not going to be only one card that is helping you. You have the Bone Party. This can add a Sleepy from the deck if there even is one still. And then you can activate the Twin Dragon that you just destroyed. This card is going to get you another monster, the Anguish, get you more resources, and you still have interruptions plus Appaloosa.
In the meantime, in Duel A, we did see Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis
lukanya full board coy, gila.
try and save the day for Joey here in that Malice Mirror, but Luca in control. Duel C though, it looks to be the end of the game coming soon.
Enzo and his Ryzeal deck just keeps on impressing everyone and keeps on also overwhelming Mist here in the all Ryzeal mirror match of the finals. It is Enzo bringing ahead once more Team Chiba Corp.
Chiba Corp 1 game away from being your 2025 World Champions, but they have to overcome Ragnarok. The other 2 duels look so good here. Nash, so many cards in hand. Luca, so many cards on the field.
And
now I'm super curious what there is left in Pak's hand, because the Anguish is activating here. I would think if you have a forbidden droplet in your hand, you activate it to stop the Anguish from searching and to negate the Apollousa. Does he have nothing left? What are you going to negate with the Apollousa? There's a bazillion cards in the hand of Tatsuno Otoshi.
Oh, mirror match ternyata Memento.
Start negating sometimes, but is there maybe triple tactic talents for Nash? Tatsuno Toshigo goes to the field. We have bodies now.
We have not negated the Tatsuno Chichogo, and now Nash is revealing once more. This is not only any Memento deck, but this is Goblin Biker Memento.
And we said this is a mirror match across the board. Ryzeal versus Ryzeal, Malice versus Malice. It's Memento, but it's versus Memento Goblin Biker. That is the Nash difference, and it seems to be paying off right now.
The old technologies of those snake eyes players going to bait out the first Apollousa negate. You're threatening an SP Little Knight as well. That would make 2 if you negate that. That makes 3, and we have basically outed the Apollousa here.
Yes. Oh, and also Duel A. Duel A seems to come to a close. Looks like Luca is actually.
Tinggal ketua cuy.
We are all tired.
Anjir, udah serempak anjir.
Nash in the grand final to crown your champion, adding talent off of thrust.
Wah gila.
Tactics.
Under Maxi bisa kan nih?
He has the Apollousa now. He has the.
Jadi combo jalan nih.
Tatsuno Toshigo can activate now. Yes, there is still a sleepy in hand for his opponent for Pak, but you have Apollousa now. You can negate that. It is now Nash's world, Nash's chance to go the World Champion Hall of Fame.
And Park took the Max C challenge, but Nash rose right back, breaks the field and continues to pressure here.
What a moment to take the Max C challenge there from Pak in set 3 of the finals. He felt forced to do so, and Nash was happy about this. But we're able to break the field there. That triple tactic thrust was something he was left with. He told us he had to accept it, as all the avatar cards were taken, and so he has triple tactic thrust in his deck. Fun fact, he even has Dimensional Barrier in his deck as a target to set going first.
The one evenly matched is also a very good triple tactics thrust target.
Oh yeah.
So setting up a Max C there.
Jadi seru banget cuy, gila ini baru final nih.
So to whatever he wants, and also I think what's pretty funny,
gua langsung ke King saja. Nggak ke Twin Dragon.
Yep, I do think we are going to see that now, using the effect of Cross Sheep, also using the effect of the Tekudlika. Funny thing here is, we send with the Tekudlika, and as Cross Sheep was chaining 1, we could technically bring something back that we send with the Tekudlika here.
All of those cards in hand are converting into cards on the field, and all of those on the field are just adding to Nash's advantage here. Park, he told his lead, but Nash struck back.
And I think he's going to be able to extend 4 days here, but the timer is still an issue. We have seen this tournament, and Memento is infamous for being a deck that can lose to the timer. You have the Creation King there that is going to be later on able to think you can set up a phenomenal field.
We have plenty of cards in it, and banishing that so important boss monster there. Sure, also Nash now loses access to the effect of it on the follow-up turn, but Pak really needed that card to strike back.
I think Nash does have access to the access code Talker, however, so if you needed a big monster, you will still get one to close this out if you need it.
But you are in main phase 2, of course, because of the evenly match. So the access code Talker can look threatening, but it's more of a Barks doesn't bite situation in this one. Hard draw is of course a little bit iffy, but if you have drawn 25 cards with Maxi, that is going to be fine. Apollousa is away. I think this
That is what are we banishing? We probably just go after something in the graveyard here. Maybe a Mental Infusion or something like that. Deny further follow-up.
And we are still going to get one more turn from Barca. There's still a a
Dibiarin
chance
saja.
depending on what he draws on the next turn. As you said, we're in main phase 2. There's no
Tapi ini main phase
attacking
2.
with these monsters as impressive as they are.
Sleepy buat
But Nesh
ini apa,
continues
sama.
to push, continues to establish
Destroy,
his field,
oh.
and continues to set Ragnarok up for
Pushin kemana?
success here.
Sleepy is being summoned here. Is going to actually
Ini version
execute.
Calvin
We have
Smith
been
nggak ngerti
through the
lagi.
Twin Dragon. We are so close to summoning
Twin
out
Dragon.
everything that we've ever wanted. Prioritizes the Sleepy body on the field as well here, just to be able to go into an Appaloosa later. Because you have 20 cards in hand, but you can't always get them all to the field. So I think fusing from hand.
Oh, ini kali ini Appaloosa ya.
valid here.
Oh,
Yang ada-
and now after using the Appaloosa of
Iya,
Pack there on
Appaloosa.
our side, linking it up and now rounding it off with our very own
Oh,
Appaloosa
gila.
Bow of the Goddess. And this one will stay.
Oh,
Yes,
udah.
indeed it will, and it stays with 3 disruptions
Aduh, kamu-
available to it.
Handboardnya jelek,
Got
cuy.
Big Set
Aduh.
there as well,
No,
putting
Ness.
all of these cards to good use, not having to discard at the end of the turn because he's used all of those max C cards.
Puck is with his back against the wall. Book of Eclipse is supposed to give you cards, but if there are none that are face down and can be turned
Was
face
saja
up,
Sleepy.
it's not gonna happen. Okay, Sleepy is going to get an Appaloosa
Oh,
negate
die
out
negate.
here. That is, of course, also good for Puck there. Waited patiently until his own Appaloosa was leaked away to get
Ya sengaja dia diaktif
800 points
buat
from the new
Interesting decision
buat
though to
habisin
negate
amunisinya
Sleepy there in the
Appaloosa.
end phase, because what would that have even done? Like you could have
Oh,
just
udah ini supply
maybe
lagi.
taken care of
Nggak
that
ada.
there
Oh.
on the field. I don't think it would have used
Sleepy,
the summon
Gatik,
effect,
tapi nggak
so
tahu nih. Draw.
definitely interesting to already give up Appaloosa effect there, but Nash has so many things
Oh,
here,
mau
so
summon
many
Gatik, langsung
interruptions,
saja.
so probably the right decision in the
Langsung
end.
Benis cuy.
normal summon. Gatic is a play here. Is
Langsung Benis.
targeting
Eh.
Mimiman Totlet
Oh, di
fusion.
gigit.
Of course, you can negate that here, but still the fusion is a play here. You have the Sleepy in hand. If fusion resolves, pops the Gatic, you can use Sleepy to summon it back out.
Memento versus Memento here in the grand finals, and it looks like
Wah, udah. Wah, gila.
Oh yeah,
Nes,
that
NT.
is what Nash likes to see. He looks over to
Nes,
his teammate.
GG buat
The
Nes.
moment of realization, he puts his hand up, but on the other team, Joey already
Berarti dia
put his
nge-break
hand
itu
up
tarikannya.
down because we
Langsung
are
saja.
moments away from Nash TCG leading
Ada lagi
his
nggak
team
itu?
here to the World Championship title.
Nesh could very well close
Wah,
this
saya
with
dipanggil bos
Ragnarok
monster
and
ya.
secure them that
Wah, Ragnarok cuy, gila. Wah, Des.
title of champions of the world
Diga-
championship
Hikman Nes.
2025. Nesh.
Nes, selalu saja.
While we are celebrating a new age,
Oh, gila.
the Duel, and that age is led by Team
Oh,
They are becoming a part of Yu-Gi-Oh! History with this direct attack!
Team Ragnarok is your 2025 WCS World Champion team. Nash TCG
gila Des.
and Luca are
Baru
officially
join langsung
the best
jadi juara, cuy.
Master Duel players in the
Timnya dikencang-kencang win 7%.
world.
Wah, gila Des.
Got Nash storming onto the stage, and he's telling you and everyone at home that this
Mamma mia,
is
lu
their
dapat.
title now.
And he's telling you
Papa,
that your
anjir.
fate was placed correctly.
Papa,
The
handsome.
community, they all rallied behind him, and it was so good.
They're ready to lift the trophy. Give it up for your new world champion.
Si Nes ngapain lu? Woi Nes. Lu kemana anjir? Oh, diajak ini.
Nash is being a good spot and bringing
Dia
the
tuh
opposition on.
sama ini sih dari tim Samurai
Give it up
X1.
for your finalists as well.
Wah, gila, Nes.
Jacob.
Man, he's my army, man.
Gila, seorang Word mengalahkan gurunya dari
Guys,
Memento.
Congratulations. Ragnarok, I'm going to get you guys over here so that we can have a quick talk. You guys are now the third ever Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Champions.
Kalau pakai itu ada banget sih ya, nggak ada aslasem. Dia kalau ada aslasem menang tuh
Go down
si
in the
Pak.
history books as world champions. How does
Gila.
it feel?
Next year to Japan, baby.
Anjir dia next time mau nantangin Jepang deh.
チームセグに次ぐ第3のワールドチャンピオンとして勝った気持ちはいかがですかというところでもう本当にありがとうございます。最高です。
Now, obviously, you guys are so happy to be here. You are world champions, but are there people you would like to shout out, say thank you to? This is your moment. Who would you like to say thank you
Wah
to?
gila.
We tested together with Chibacorp, Joy, Ryan, all the boys. It's incredible to be up here with my teammates. They are friends, first of all. They
Iya,
are
satu ini aja
they
satu
are
satu perguruan.
beautiful human beings, and thank you
Sama tim Samurai X.
for allowing this. Like it's so good. Like it actually feels insane, man.
特に感謝を伝えたい方は、ジョーイさん、ライアンさん、そして友達のみんな、チームメイトのみんな、そしてこれまで関わってくれた方たち、そしてコナミにも、こういった素晴らしい場を提供していただき本当に感謝しています。ありがとうございます。
Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out as well?
So what Nesh said, like we mostly prepared with Chapa Corp and some of our friends like Ryan, Quantul, and Emre. So those are the people we would like to shout out mostly.
Ya bos Angga sih tim yang diremehkan cuy. Diremehkan oleh Farfot cuy.
ライアンさんや他のお友達
Winner
にも感謝を伝え
7%
た
bisa
いと
menang
思いま
ini
す。
finalis. Gila.
Just like my teammates, I want to thank our finals opponents for a great match. I want to thank Shaiba Corp in general, Ryan, Jesse, Emre, Quantal, all of them for being great help to our testing. And I also want to thank my family at home who's watching me in this great moment. Thank you.
チームメイトや、友達、チャイバコープの皆さん、ライアンさん、ジェシーさん、
One
そして
last
家
shout
族
out.
みんな
I
伝
have
え
to
たい
do
で
that.
す。
I'm sorry. Jesse Cotton and my memento Ryan Yu and Christian Urena. That guy is the GOAT. Thank you, Christian.
Well, there you go, guys.
ジェ
I'm
シー
going
コ
to
ト
let
さん、クリスさん、ありがとうございます。
I'm going to let you have one more chance. I'll take that mic off you. Come and raise your
Dia
trophy
seorang
one more time.
murid
Give it up for
mengalahkan
your
guru
world
Memento aja.
champions, Ragnarok!
Gila. Seru. Final seru aja. Emang ada perlawanan nih.
And with that, we come to the end of our day of coverage here with our digital titles. We've crowned Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Speed Duel and Rush Duel champions and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel World champions. So that is going to end today's coverage. But make sure you guys tune in from 9:30 a.m. local time here in France to make sure you can tune in for a whole day of top cuts and finals for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game and also OCG. Thank you very much for joining us today. Congratulations to all of our champions, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning.
Biar channel kau makin berkembang. Gue Yatarou pamit undur diri. Yuk di casting apa? Saya ajar cup minggu depan. Sampai jumpa guys. Bye bye.